Hello and welcome to tonight's LOL Esports Roundup. We're going to cover the two series that took place earlier today to decide who goes to quarterfinals, and then preview tomorrow's quadruple best of ones. 22-9 in predictions. I got both accurate, not only the pick but as well as the series score. So JDG beat LNG 2-1. Kanavi was my MVP once again. We'll go back to me being serious. I thought Kanavi was excellent. His Wukong in Game 3, literally solo killing players essentially, was disgusting. I thought his other two games were obviously very solid. Tarzan, though, definitely gave him a run. As I said yesterday, and I will say again, I do believe LNG give JDG a lot of fits. Once again, it goes to the wire. LNG do take games off of BLG. JDG. They just beat BLG, and a lot of people kind of are forgetting that LNG did that. Like, LNG are probably the second best team behind JDG from the LPL going into this event. Knight, 10, 5, 16, 30% of damage. Missing 2, 5, 26. Gala, 7, 5, 14, 30% of damage in the loss. The 80 carries definitely duking out in team fights. Wild. It was definitely a great three-game affair. LNG's win, it's clear that LNG are trying to slow games down to help their win cons. We saw it against Cloud9, and we saw it today as well, that they are best suited when they just slow things down and they let the game come to them. Obviously, like I said yesterday, when you play against JDG, you do have to come at them. LNG, though, they have the hands capable of fighting JDG, so they can get away with it. Some interesting decisions. They played Camille in Game 1. That was fine until a late game team fight, and then they lost Baron, and they could no longer 1-3-1. Tarzan trying his best on Lee Sin in that one, but in the end, it just wasn't enough. I thought Scout I think he was on Akali in Game 1. I know Scout was very important in Game 1. I believe he was on the Akali in that one. Knight, excellent, of course. His Nico, definitely sticking out to me at times. We got two excellent teams here, and a lot of people are upset. Oh, well, why are we having this now? Well, we can have it later as well. All this is doing is ensuring that one of the LPL's top teams got to quarterfinals. So you should take it for what it is. 369 came through clutch as well in Game 3 on the Aatrox. I thought he was MVP of Game 3 in and of itself. It's just the fact that Kanavi across all three games and the Wukong in Game 3. It's just like, I guess I'm just a Kanavi fan. It was a big deal. It was a big deal to me. And also we have to make note of 369 on Aatrox, right? Rolling a 9, if you will. I think they said that on the broadcast. Carry-oriented top pick there, right? Once again, JDG's showing another wrinkle. Really, honestly, Ruler, like I said, duking it out in team fights with Gala. But at the same time, I think Kanavi was important. I think Knight was important, 369. And, Ruler was there, right? So it's just, when you have an excellent team like this, some games it's like, oh, well, by the way, Ruler's on that team. And no, Missing really didn't die. He played well in lane, saving Ruler's ass at one point. Big time. But, another great series out of JDG. LNG, definitely something that we've missed for, month and a half now? 2 months. We had two best of fives between these two teams in the LPL playoffs, and both went to 5 games. Some would argue LNG blew that one. I think they did as well. And in part why I viewed JDG the way I did going into this event, and not picking them to win. G2 Gen G. Gen G blow them out 2-0. Doran MVP. I guess blowing out's probably unfair. Pays 13-1-13, 29% of damage. Peanut 7-1-27. Caps 4-11-5, 29% of damage in the loss. Caps did solo kill Chovy in Game 1. After that, we kind of move on. If you're a G2 supporter, it was ugly in the towards the end of laning phase when we got into mid-game. Doran's Jax went off, and G2 really didn't have an answer. Once he goes off, Pace starts getting gold, Chovy starts getting gold. We're starting to see Silas come through big time in this in this event, and it's going to be a big counter, just like last year when we had Maokai. Maokai ulti is super, super crucial to teams when it comes to zoning for objectives and just a great layer of CC, right? And now Silas is coming through once again to be like, hey, we're going to pick this because it gives us the Maokai ulti and it will be stronger than your Maokai ulti. That's literally what happened last year, and it's going to happen again here. And Chovy was just disgusting, but Doran on the Jacks turned that game around. And then in game 2 on the Aatrox, I thought he did well. But Peanut maybe was MVP of game 2. You could have picked Doran or Peanut, in my opinion. Chovy, like I said, did play excellent outside of getting solo killed by Caps in game 1. And then Pays and Delight. I mean, Delight did some nice things, but really it's like this bot lane is an afterthought, similar to how I felt about JDG today. It was more the top side of the rift making things occur than the bot side. What else do I think about this? Some interesting decisions by G2. They played Lissandra support. A lot of people criticizing that in my Discord. I think you got to do stuff like that. I don't really care about, what is best in slot necessarily. I consider it, hey, let's play something that they might not expect here. Now, it doesn't mean that you get to play absolute dog shit champs and be like, oh, I'm going to play something that really sucks. No, but I think the Lissandra has a little bit of merit. They've played it before this year, worthy of coming out at least as a flex. Now, when I rewatch these games, I don't watch the draft. I skip the draft. So theoretically, if the Lissandra wasn't utilized as an early pick and then flex to support, I would say it was a bit sus. Maybe even I think they were on blue side that time. So really, there was always a possibility for a counter. That's kind of int otherwise. So, I mean, I guess it depends. Truly depends. If the Lissandra was utilized as a flex for a long time, and you were able to get the mid and support picks out of Genji before you swapped, it's okay. It's just a mess. But that's fine. I thought Genji would 2-0 G2. It happened. Genji are playing some clean League of Legends right now, and if Silas is the pick, Chovy's just going to become stronger. Doran is playing. The thing is, like, Doran playing as well as he is the reason why I think Genji is my favorite, my pick. Because that is something that, I'm not saying he's better than 369 or Zeus or Bin, but I am saying that gives a wrinkle and an aspect to Genji that they didn't have last year, and I've been saying it all year long. That is a big step for this team. Sneak peek for tomorrow, T1, C9. They played at Worlds 2022. T1 would win both games in group stage. Gumayushi went 21-0-7 in those two matches. Berserker 2-5-2, and between those two games, the average diffy at 14 minutes between those two AD carries was a chasm. 2,680 gold, 41 CS, and 630 XP was the average between those two games. Holy crap. That's a big diffy, right? Thinking back to that series just very lightly, I do recall Berserker kind of trying not to die and playing very safe and passively because the rest of his... It was like that meme where the person's sitting at the table and everything's burning around them. Yeah, that's bad. So we'll see if they got better for tomorrow. NRG Mad Lions. These two teams have never played. LEC 2019 Summer Playoffs is the only time that I can find where any of the players have crossed paths. Ignar and Hillesung. Ignar was on Schalke. Hilly was on Fnatic. Ignar went 1-7-15 in the 0-3 defeat. And Hilly went 6-7-19. It was reckless. Hilly and upset Ignar in that one. BLG Fnatic, there is nothing to go off of for there. Players have never crossed paths in an international event in their careers. So we will see how that goes outright. I do think there is one team that's a little favored more than the other. But I have been thinking, this is the best of one here where, in this thing, like a lot of people are gonna be like, oh, you got BLG getting upset and this or that. This is either the prove it or not for Fnatic. Like, did Fnatic get better? Did they not? And are BLG gonna, throw this Worlds? I think this is the one where it kind of is determined. KT Weibo never have played against each other. However, Xiaohu and BDD have crossed paths. They played at MSI 2018 in the finals, and Xiaohu would win that 1-3-1 with RNG. BDD went 9, 10, 15, 27% of damage with King Zone. Xiaohu 11, 8, 20, and only 19% of damage for RNG. Uzi absolutely crushed that. If you look at the DPMs, it's insane. And on average across the 4 games, Xiaohu actually had a lead at 15 minutes. 308 gold, 4 CS, 71 XP. So that's an interesting matchup going back in the history books for that one. So that's it for the that's for the roundup. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, like it, subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow me on Twitter, join the Discord, become a YouTube supporter. I hope to see you again tomorrow.